Well, as you can see here, I took out my windshield wiper motor. I was having some difficulties there because the wiper motor wasn't working. The windshield wipers weren't turning, and I didn't know if it's because it was all gummed up or because the motor itself was bad. So I just decided to take it all apart, and it was pretty gummed up, and I don't know if the motor is bad. I want to check that out. First, I fixed this a little bit. These needed new mounts. The old ones were really bad, and these new ones were really hard to put in. You have to squeeze. They're one piece. Half of it goes below the hole and half of it goes above the hole. Then you put the metal post in the middle. But to get that rubber in there, it must have taken me an hour's worth of pushing with the screwdriver to get those pieces in there. All right, really so here's my crazy workbench. My motor all disassembled. Here's the armature, and the armature is basically the metal magnetic part or whatever. It's just a steel, and then it's wound with a bunch of these wires, and the wires basically connect to these points at the top. This is the commutator, which basically transfers electrical energy or whatever to the wires which wrap around, and there'll be two contacts for the commutator. Those contacts are called brushes. One will go on this side, one will go the other side. Well, I tested this with a voltmeter just to see if it was any good. So you test by putting one end of the ohm meter on one side and the other on the other side, and you look at the resistance, and you do that for each pair going around. Make sure that they're all the same. Then the next test is you test adjacent commutators with the ohm meter. Make sure that they're the same going all the way around. And then you test for a short between the commutator and the armature and make sure that there's no short. Well, it looked like that this is okay. So still, I don't know, it's not turning, but we'll see. Maybe it was just gummed up because there's a lot of stuff in there. I cleaned this off so you can see. There's the inside. It's just real heavy metal. Here's the pole. Basically, it's a winding around a piece of metal which creates a magnet, electromagnet. This wire I had to unsolder, but it came from this top here. There's the underneath. You can see it's copper except for a little bit, and I think that's just to, I'm not sure, but I think that's so that when you push it off that it goes into the resting position. It'll continue on around until it gets to the resting position. And the way this works is that this turns around, rounds around, but the reason the windshield wipers go back and forth is because this thing goes around, and it's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen like a train wheel. Even though it goes around, this part here kind of goes out and back and out and back. Well, that pushes basically this cable out and back and out and back through the tube. So that's how that works. So I cleaned that out. Now I have to grease it up and put the tube back in. I cleaned off these. I have to put these back in. By the way, I cannot find new pieces for this, so just reusing my old one there. And this is what I did for this one. Long time ago I had an old hose, garden hose. I just stuck it on there, kind of cut it sideways. It seemed to work okay, so I'm just going to leave it on there. But ultimately, that's kind of not really that great. And but anyways, clean these out, so now they turn nice and freely, whereas before they did not. They were really gunned up. See if that makes a difference. So next step is to grease everything up and assemble it. All right, so now I installed the cable, and it works really good now. Before I couldn't do this at all. And I turn this, and it turns to the windshield wipers pretty nice. So that's pretty good. There it is. There's the washer. Turns nice. I greased this part here with a bit of grease. So now to assemble some more. Alright. Put one of the the single pole. It's a single pole motor. Put that pole in there. And just put 2 screws. That's all it took. Alright, well, what I did is I installed, I don't know if you can see in here, but I have 2 brushes. One there and one right there. And I just got them. They're brand new. I got them because I lost the other brushes, which are, I'll show you, they're right here. And but I found them, as you can see, but they're kind of, also they're just kind of small. So the new brushes are actually quite a bit bigger, and well, they're not curved like these are, but maybe that's just what's going to happen after they wear down. They're so big that when I tried to put on this piece, this is like a little rubber piece, it just basically it broke in two, because the springs were so far apart I couldn't get these gaps in there, and it just broke it. So, well, they don't make a replacement for that, so we'll just see how it goes. Alright, once again I took this wheel out. I bet you this will go in a lot easier now. So let's see, gotta put this. Where is that hole? Right there. Or, oh, this way. This way. This goes there like that. And make sure everything gets through there. Looks like it's okay. Where is it? Here. Alright, so there's the other one. There we go. That's just about perfect, I think. Screw these things. All right. Let's go ahead. Alright, I got my electrical diagram of the TR4 because I have a late model TR3B and it has this TR4 type of a wiper motor. So I have 3 connections on it. This is the wiper motor in the diagram, and I have three connections on it instead of 2, which is on the TR3. So anyway, if you look closely, this is, I think, what was wrong. Now my black wire was correctly grounded. That's fine. The green is correctly gone to power because that is always on. But this one, this BG, that one is a switch that's supposed to go to ground, and what mine was doing, it was a switch that was going to power. Very, very bad. I could burn out my motor, and I saw that it wasn't working right. If it doesn't work when you turn it on, don't leave it on. Quickly turn it off and figure out why. So that's what I was doing, and if I had left it on, I'm sure I would have burnt out that motor. But anyways, so let me try to see if I can just ground that and see what happens. Instead of that white wire, what I had when I first did this and I hooked up all my wires, I had this red wire connecting from here to here, and as you can see, it just smoked it. There was smoke coming out, and it was just melted this, and I quickly yanked this off, and as you can see, just melted and came right off as quick as I could, because I don't want to damage that motor. I just yanked it off as quick as I could. Alright, let me turn on the motor, make sure it all works. Here it is. I can hear it going around, around, around. There it is, stopped. Alright, took up the front panel. Here is the back of the wiper motor switch, and you can see one of the lines is that green and black line right here. The other one is this blue and white, which was the whole problem, because that means that's the power lead. It looks like I was wiring it right into this. Well, it's hard to tell, but wiring it into this big old thing which had a lot of other power lines coming out of there, and anyways, that should have been wired to ground. So that was the problem, and I'm lucky I did not run it for very long, or I would have burnt out that motor. So gotta switch that to ground. That should do the trick. Alright, so now I rewired the one of the lines, goes right to ground, and let's see if that works. Okay, so the final product. It works! Yay! Just like they're supposed to. Push any button. Oops. Not supposed to do that. There, it's supposed to park. Alright.